Welcome back, champions. Today, we enter the heart of wisdom passed down through millennia. Wisdom that shapes not just how we perceive the world, but how we engage with it in moments of tension and conflict. In this journey, we will unravel the ancient Confucian principles of conflict resolution, exploring how these time-honored strategies can be applied to our lives today. By the end of this discourse, you'll discover a new approach to conflicts, one that fosters harmony, respect, and inner strength. Confucianism, a philosophy rooted in the teachings of Confucius, is not merely an intellectual pursuit, but a way of living, a path that demands discipline, moral fortitude, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good. When faced with conflict, whether in our personal relationships, workplaces, or within ourselves, Confucianism offers timeless insights that guide us toward resolution without the erosion of our integrity or the destruction of our bonds. Confucius once said, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." This encapsulates the essence of Confucian conflict resolution. It is not about who shouts the loudest or who wins the argument, but about who can maintain their virtue and act with humility. The superior man, in Confucian terms, is not superior in status or wealth, but in moral character and wisdom. Confucianism teaches us that conflict arises from a dissonance in relationships, a disharmony that stems from a lack of understanding, empathy, or respect. In the Analects, Confucius emphasizes the importance of Ren, often translated as benevolence or humanness. Ren is the foundation of all human relationships, and it is through the cultivation of Ren that we can begin to resolve conflicts effectively. Imagine a world where conflicts are approached with the intention to understand rather than to dominate. This is the world Confucius envisioned, a world where harmony is paramount and where individuals are guided by their moral compass rather than their ego. By embracing Ren, we open ourselves to the possibility of seeing the conflict from the perspective of the other, thus paving the way for true resolution. In Confucian thought, the concept of Ren is deeply intertwined with the idea of reciprocity. Confucius famously stated, "Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire." This principle, often referred to as the Silver Rule, forms the ethical foundation upon which all Confucian teachings on relationships and conflict are built. When we approach conflicts with a mindset of Ren, we are not just considering our own needs, but also those of others, ensuring that our actions are rooted in mutual respect and empathy. This reciprocity fosters an environment where conflicts can be addressed constructively, leading to solutions that benefit all parties involved. Confucius believed that before we can resolve external conflicts, we must first look inward. He advocated for self-cultivation, Xiu Shen, the continuous effort to improve oneself morally and intellectually. To put the world in order, we must first put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life. We must first set our hearts right. This concept of self-cultivation is central to Confucian conflict resolution. It teaches us that the resolution of conflict begins not with changing others, but with changing ourselves. When we face conflict, the first step is to examine our own hearts. Are we acting out of pride? Are we seeking to prove ourselves right, rather than seeking the truth? Confucius encourages us to quiet our minds, reflect on our intentions, and approach the situation with humility. In the words of the Confucian scholar Mencius, "If the heart is right, the personal life will be cultivated. If the personal life is cultivated, the family will be regulated. If the family is regulated, the state will be in order. If the state is in order, there will be peace in the world." This chain reaction starts within us. By cultivating our inner virtues, we set the stage for harmonious relationships and ultimately, a peaceful society. Self-cultivation also extends beyond our immediate actions and thoughts. It involves a lifelong commitment to learning, reflection, and personal growth. In the Confucian tradition, scholars are often revered not for their knowledge alone, but for their continuous pursuit of wisdom and moral excellence. As we confront conflicts in our lives, we must be willing to engage in this ongoing process of self-improvement. This might mean revisiting past conflicts and analyzing how we could have handled them differently, or seeking out new knowledge and perspectives that can inform our approach to future disputes. In this way, self-cultivation becomes both a proactive and reactive tool in our conflict resolution arsenal, equipping us to handle challenges with increasing wisdom and grace over time. Confucianism places a significant emphasis on li, or ritual propriety. Li is not merely about performing rituals, but is about observing social norms, showing respect, and maintaining order in relationships. Rituals, in Confucianism, are the framework within which harmony is maintained, even in the face of conflict. When conflicts arise, Li reminds us of the importance of respect for the other person, for the relationship, and for the larger social order. This is not about suppressing our feelings or avoiding confrontation, but about approaching conflict with a sense of decorum and reverence. Confucius taught that by adhering to these rituals and traditions, we can navigate conflicts without losing our moral grounding. A key aspect of Confucian conflict resolution is the art of listening, truly listening, not just to respond, but to understand. Confucius said, "Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself." This principle, known as the Silver Rule, encourages us to place ourselves in the shoes of the other person, to understand their perspective and their feelings. In conflict, it is easy to become consumed by our own emotions and to focus solely on our own viewpoint. But Confucianism teaches us to step back, to listen deeply, and to consider the other person's perspective with empathy. This doesn't mean that we have to agree with them, but that we acknowledge their feelings and try to understand where they are coming from. By practicing this kind of empathetic listening, we create space for dialogue rather than confrontation. We move from a place of opposition to a place of understanding, where true resolution can occur. This approach not only resolves the immediate conflict, but also strengthens the relationship, as it is built on mutual respect and understanding. Empathy in Confucianism is more than just a passive act of understanding. It is an active engagement with the emotions and perspectives of others. Confucian thought teaches us that empathy is a form of moral action, an expression of Ren that transforms how we interact with others. When we approach conflicts with genuine empathy, we not only address the immediate issues at hand, but also build a foundation of trust and respect that can prevent future conflicts. This proactive empathy helps to create an environment where open communication and mutual support are the norms, leading to more harmonious relationships both in personal and professional settings. Confucianism also teaches the importance of moral courage in conflict resolution. This is not the courage to confront others, but the courage to confront ourselves, to hold ourselves to the highest moral standards, even when it is difficult. Confucius said, "The man of virtue makes the difficulty to be overcome his first business, and success only a subsequent consideration." Moral courage, in the face of conflict, means being willing to admit when we are wrong, to apologize when necessary, and to stand by our principles even when it is unpopular or uncomfortable. It is the courage to choose harmony over pride, to choose the greater good over personal gain. In this sense, Confucian conflict resolution is not about winning or losing, but about doing what is right. It is about maintaining our integrity, acting with kindness and respect, and striving for harmony in all our relationships. This requires strength of character, but it is this strength that ultimately leads to true resolution and peace. The concept of moral courage also encompasses the willingness to take responsibility for our actions and their consequences. In conflicts, it can be tempting to shift blame or to avoid taking accountability for our role in the situation. However, Confucianism teaches that true courage lies in acknowledging our mistakes and taking the necessary steps to rectify them. This might mean initiating difficult conversations, making amends, or changing our behavior to prevent similar conflicts in the future. By embracing this form of moral courage, we not only resolve the immediate conflict, but also demonstrate a commitment to personal growth and ethical living. Confucianism also advocates for the middle way, Zhong Yong, a path of moderation and balance in all things. In conflict resolution, this translates to seeking a solution that is fair and just, one that respects the needs and perspectives of all parties involved. The middle way is about avoiding extremes of emotion, of action, of judgment, and finding a balanced approach that fosters harmony. Confucius believed that the middle way was the path to true wisdom. In conflict, this means not rushing to judgment or action, but taking the time to understand the situation fully, to consider all perspectives, and to seek a resolution that is equitable and just. This requires patience, reflection, and a willingness to compromise. Mediation, as practiced in Confucian societies, is a reflection of this middle way. It involves bringing in a neutral third party who can help to facilitate dialogue, ensure that all voices are heard, and guide the parties toward a fair and just resolution. This approach not only resolves the conflict, but also helps to restore and strengthen relationships, as it is based on mutual respect and understanding. The middle way also encourages us to avoid the pitfalls of absolutism in our approach to conflict resolution. In the heat of conflict, it is easy to become entrenched in our positions, viewing the situation in black and white terms. However, Confucianism teaches us that wisdom often lies in the gray areas, in the nuances and complexities of human relationships. By embracing the middle way, we open ourselves to the possibility of finding creative and balanced solutions that might not have been apparent initially. This approach not only leads to more effective conflict resolution, but also promotes a deeper understanding and appreciation of the diverse perspectives involved. In a world that often seems fractured by division and discord, the teachings of Confucius offer a beacon of hope, a reminder that there is a path to harmony if we are willing to walk it. By embracing Confucian principles in our approach to conflict, we can not only resolve disputes more effectively, but also contribute to a more just and peaceful society. This legacy is one that we must carry forward, not just as a theoretical ideal, but as a practical guide for how we live our lives and interact with others. As we stand at the crossroads of tradition and modernity, the teachings of Confucius remind us that the answers to our most pressing conflicts often lie within us. It is not enough to seek external solutions. We must cultivate our inner virtues and approach conflicts with a mindset rooted in empathy, respect, and moral courage. This is the path forward, not just for individuals, but for societies as a whole. In the words of Confucius, when we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. This introspection is the first step toward true conflict resolution. It is an acknowledgement that the power to create harmony lies within each of us, and that by cultivating our own virtues, we can inspire others to do the same. As we apply these Confucian principles in our daily lives, we become not just better individuals, but better members of our communities, better citizens of our nations, and better stewards of our world. We learn to approach conflicts not as battles to be won, but as opportunities for growth, understanding, and reconciliation. And in doing so, we contribute to a legacy of peace and harmony that extends far beyond our own lives. So, champions, as you go forth from here, take with you the wisdom of Confucius. Let it guide your actions, shape your relationships, and inform your approach to conflict. By doing so, you will not only resolve conflicts more effectively, but also contribute to a more harmonious and just world. We become, in the words of Confucius, superior men, not in status or power, but in moral character and wisdom. Now I invite you to reflect on the conflicts in your own life, whether they are small disagreements or deep-seated disputes, Consider how you can apply these Confucian principles to resolve them. Begin with self-cultivation. Listen with empathy. Observe the principles of Li and act with moral courage. By doing so, you will not only resolve the conflict, but also strengthen your relationships and grow as an individual. Remember, champions, the path of Confucianism is not an easy one, but it is a path that leads to true harmony and peace. It requires discipline, humility, and a commitment to the greater good. But the rewards are immense, a life of virtue, wisdom, and enduring strength. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you help us beat the algorithm and ensure that you continue to receive content that empowers you to grow in wisdom and strength. Also, be sure to check out our other videos, where we explore more ancient philosophies and their relevance to modern life. Until next time, champions, stay strong and stay committed to your path.